Hey guys, welcome to Delilah's Downloads, where we say what needs to be said. You guys just missed it. I'm cracking up at myself. You missed something extremely hilarious. I was attempting to do a Facebook Live for the first time from my laptop. I actually did the live, but had no idea how to end the live, and so I had to just close the browser, and of course, that deleted the video. So comical with myself, but come on here real quick. Had something to share with you guys again. Black Panther spoiler alert. So for those of you who have not seen the movie, know that I'm going to share just a little bit of the movie. Hopefully it won't ruin your movie going experience, but even if it does, continue to listen. Amen. So Black Panther spoiler alert. Collect your chips. So for those of us who have seen the movie and for those of us who haven't, know that this is going to happen. I don't know if you guys recall, but there was a scene in the movie where it was in the casino. It was set in the casino. Black Panther was in the casino, and he was at a table, like a roulette table or craps table or something like that, and he had a stack of chips. And he won. He hit on with his chips. So his chips were there on the table, but he left his chips. So I won't get into the reason why he left his chips. I want to focus on the chips being left behind. So if you guys recall, or as you'll find out if you haven't seen the movie yet, he left his chips, and at some point Stan Lee jokingly comes over and takes his chips, like, I'll just take these. What came to my mind when I was thinking on it, a revelation that came to my mind or came to my spirit was, what are we leaving on the table? What is it that God has asked us to do, that God has commanded us to do, that God has entrusted us to do, that we're leaving on the table? Not only are we just simply leaving it, not only are we leaving it on the table, not doing what he's asked us to do with it, but we're leaving it on the table exposed. It's vulnerable. What is it? What is it? Check your heart, check your spirit. What is it that God is asking you to do, and you've just let that thing just lay on the table? How are we going to feel when someone comes and takes our chips? When the chips that we're not using, that God has entrusted us with, the tools and treasures that God and talents that God has entrusted us with, when he can no longer wait on us because there's kingdom business that has to be done, and somebody else comes and takes our chips. When you see somebody else open that business that you know God has called you to do. When you see somebody else start that ministry that you know God has called you to start. What are you going to do? What are you going to do when you don't? How are you going to feel? Because there's nothing you're going to be able to do because it's done. Well, how are you going to feel when the chips that you left on the table are exposed and Stan Lee comes over, takes your chips, and you see him win with the chips you were entrusted with? It's not going to feel good, is it? So kind of tagging back into the video prior to this one. So if you haven't seen it, go back and see it. Whose miracle is waiting on your faith? Tagging back into that, if we're not exercising faith, if we don't have the faith to do the things that God has called us to do, when the chips are laid on the table, exposed, left open, somebody else is going to grab those chips and do what we didn't do with them. So collect your chips, family. Don't let Stan Lee come take your chips. Use your own chips. Invest them. Sow them into someone else. Use them for what they were intended to be used. But you collect your own chips. Don't let somebody else come and take your chips, and then you're sitting back in the corner going, oh gosh, I think that was what I was supposed to do, and now look at those chips just become bountiful and plentiful. Don't let somebody come steal your chips. Delilah's Downloads, saying what needs to be said. You guys take care. Hope I didn't ruin it. Yeah, I hope I didn't ruin it. Love you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.